The latest, Tygart assails IOC for lack of leadership. By the Associated Press. Lausanne, Switzerland. AP. The latest from the IOC meeting on Russia's participation at the Rio Games. All times local: 5:45 p.m. The leader of the U.S. anti-doping agency says the IOC refused to take decisive leadership by stopping short of a complete Russian ban at the Olympics. Tygart says the decision and the confusing mess left in its wake is a significant blow to the rights of clean athletes. Tygart also called the decision to refuse Yulia Stepanova entry into the Games incomprehensible and a move that will undoubtedly deter whistleblowers in the future from coming forward. 5:20 p.m. IOC President Thomas Bach has defended the decision not to ban all Russians from the Olympics by insisting clean athletes should not be punished. Bach says an athlete should not suffer and should not be sanctioned for a system in which he was not implicated. The International Olympic Committee is leaving it up to international sports federations to decide which Russian athletes can compete in Rio de Janeiro next month. Bach accepted that the decision might not please everybody, but speaking on a media call, Bach added that this is not about expectations. This is about doing justice to clean athletes all over the world. 5 p.m. The Russian sports minister says that the majority of Russia's team complies with International Olympic Committee criteria on doping and will be able to compete in Rio. The IOC set extra criteria for Russian athletes when ruling out a complete ban. Athletes who have previously served doping bans will not be eligible, while international federations will also analyze an athlete's testing history. Vitaly Mako says the criteria are very tough, but that's the kind of challenge for our team. I'm sure the majority of our team will comply. Around 80% of the Russian team regularly undergoes international testing of the kind specified in the IOC criteria, he adds. Mako says he accepts the criteria but adds it is not fair that former dopers from other countries can compete. 3:55 p.m. The IOC has decided against a complete ban on Russian athletes from the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. The International Olympic Committee says it is leaving it up to global federations to decide which Russian athletes to accept in their sports. The IOC says it will deny entry of Russian athletes who do not meet the requirements set out for the federations. The IOC says the federations have the authority, under their own rules, to exclude Russian teams as a whole from their sports. 2:20 p.m. Several Russian TV networks are joined by news crews for broadcasters from around the globe awaiting the IOC decision. Around 25 media are gathered at the front door of the IOC's temporary premises in Lausanne, about 400 meters from the Olympic Museum. Most are focused on finding shade from the 25°77 sunshine as the IOC's president, Thomas Bach, leads a conference call of his executive board. It will consider a ban on Russian athletes from the Rio de Janeiro Games that open in 12 days' time. Bach is not expected to meet with reporters after the meeting. Russian broadcasters expect IOC member Alexander Zhukov to emerge to update TV crews. Reporters from Brazilian, Chinese and Japanese broadcasters are among the group. ____12:59 p.m. Russia is waiting to find out whether its entire team will be excluded from next month's Olympics over the country's doping scandal. Russia has already been handed a doping punishment when its track and field team lost an appeal against a ban on Thursday. Earlier interim IOC measures announced Tuesday included urging winter sports federations to move their competitions out of Russia this season, in response to allegations that Russian state officials hid hundreds of failed drug tests over several years and swapped samples from doped athletes for clean ones during the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. Russia has admitted some doping violations by its athletes and coaches, but still denies that the government was involved. State media has painted the issue as a U.S.-led political vendetta. ____12:37 p.m. Olympic leaders are meeting to consider whether to impose a total ban on Russian athletes from the Rio de Janeiro Games because of state-sponsored doping. The International Olympic Committee's ruling executive board is meeting Sunday via teleconference to decide on sanctions following new allegations of a government-backed doping program involving Russian athletes in summer and winter sports. Russia's track and field athletes have already been banned by the IAAF, the sport's governing body, the decision that was upheld Thursday by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The World Anti-Doping Agency and other anti-doping bodies have recommended a ban on Russia's entire team. The IOC has said it would seek a balance between collective punishment and individual justice.